Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very loaded episode of Ridertown Radio because holy crap, do we have a lot of catch up to do.
Yeah,
3 episodes of everything! Kind of.
in a way.
Yes. Today we are finishing Ghost, so 49 and 50. We are finally putting this thing back in its coffin for good, or at least until the movies come out, and we have to dig it up. Ugh, not looking forward to that. the,
Same.
de- we have the debut of our new guy, Xaid. And then we have 3 episodes of Zyuogher, which is 30 through 32, or 11 through 13, and then Dino Charge 13 through Halloween Special, because I don't count it as a numbered episode.
Yeah.
And then we also have a nice little discussion for the trailer that dropped yesterday. Specifically
Which
for.
is why there are no guests on this week's episode.
Also, I don't think we could possibly find a guest that would want to put up with this much nonsense.
You'd be surprised. I'm sure I could pull strings, especially with the one thing that just released.
Oh, yeah, so I'm sure a certain pink wearing friend of ours would.
Yeah, but because we're doing the trailer, we probably wouldn't be able to get them.
Nope, because they're all waiting.
Yeah, because they saving that.
Yep.
And it's a teaser trailer. It's not even like the trailer.
It's 2 minutes long, yet it's considered a teaser. I always find that classification weird. But we'll deal with that later, so without further ado, let's go to Ghost. Which starts off with continuing from last episode, where we have just Gone Miser, Evil Rider.
Yeah. Yay, hey look, we reused the suit except we changed the belt.
Oh yeah, this is from the movie, isn't it?
Yep. They just changed the belt so it's now a whole bunch of icon-like logos to represent that it's the Gone Misers.
Ooh.
Yeah. Fancy.
Yeah. And of course, I love how we had a night scene in this episode, but then it immediately goes to daytime. And it's like, why didn't you leave it at night? Night would have been cooler. But that's usually because I think shooting at night's a lot more expensive.
Yeah. And because CGI is a lot easier to make look... CGI is a lot harder to look real at night.
Yeah, because
Than
lighting
it
and
is in
stuff.
day because of the lighting. Yeah.
Yeah.
So our omnipotent god here just goes, it's too dark. Fuck it, it's daytime.
Yep. And while Spectre and Necrom are fighting Mooks, we have the first cameo of an Xaid character, and it's Dark Xaid with his amazing bike skills.
Yeah, Genmu.
That scene was amazing. Just
Or Genem, depending on how you want to pronounce it.
Tomato, tomato.
It's supposed to be Genmu, but I'll explain why it's supposed to be that when we talk about that.
Yep. But yeah, he shows up, kicks some butt, and then rides off on his motorcycle. Or his
Literally
bicycle.
comes in, fucks shit up, and then rides away on his bicycle. The only thing that would have made that funnier is if you heard a little ta-ting, ta-ting as he's driving off screen.
I will be surprised if someone has not already done this, but just take that scene with him riding off on his bicycle. I'm too used to saying driving off on the motorcycle. No, it's riding off on the bicycle, and you just hear Queen's bicycle going. I want to ride my bicycle.
You're gonna like JoJo, I know.
I still love this one parody I saw on YouTube where it's like someone was dressed up as like Yusei from Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, and they strapped a dual disc on the front of their bicycle. You just have that song playing while he's riding around. It was funny. Anyway, back on topic.
Two.
And our giant, or I should say our big bad, becomes really big and turns gigantic. With a laser that turns...
gigantic CGI clusterfuck monster because of reasons.
Which turns people into souls.
Yeah.
And Javert even returns to get himself zapped.
And I'm Javit. K.O.
I keep seeing this goofy image on Tumblr of Like there's like a bird and then a bear doing like lines from that, and it's like the bird says something, and then the bear's like, "And I'm Jabber."
Uh,
I was like, that
I
movie would.
haven't seen that movie. I just know that's a joke from the other show.
I'm like, that movie would probably be a lot more entertaining if it had a bear and a stork or crane, whatever that was.
I think it's supposed to be a crane.
Probably.
Because I saw bits and pieces of the original with Liam Neeson.
Ah.
Saw it in French class. It was really good.
Uh. But yeah, so we also in this episode get to see Taku's mom through the boost icon because that makes sense, I guess, unless it's just him accessing his dad's memories.
I think that was supposed to be what it was. I think that was supposed to be what it was supposed to be. That sounds really weird because that doesn't sound grammatically correct, but that is.
I know it's like when you're
We say going to the store or something like that, and it's really weird. But yeah,
no, it's
it's
weird when he's like he's typing out something and it's like you say and like had or something like that. That's like to me, it's like that doesn't seem like it should be grammatically correct, but it is. It's so weird.
yeah,
But yeah, so it's like we get to see that, and apparently, she died after he was born, so that's why she was never around,
yep.
and why he barely ever thought of her, apparently. And then he uses the power of love in his hammer to smack the monster around.
Yep, because that was the one attack we didn't see.
Yep.
When he wasted all of his other attacks. Even, I believe, his super god's critical whatever on the dude. It's like, nah, I'm fine. But the power of love, that's what really kills you.
Cue the Huey Lewis! That's the power of love.
Yeah.
We're making so many music references today.
And it's just making me more and more happy for you.
Uh,
Next Saturday.
uh, But yeah, so Takaru beats up the monster with all the encouragement from all of his friends, and then eventually he gets sucked up into the golden eye to get his wish.
And he's like, just bring everyone back. Oh, do you want me to fix everything too? No, fuck that.
And then I
Also, I
love,
would like to be alive, but I know you can only grant one wish, so just bring everyone back. You sure you don't want me to rebuild all the buildings? Nah, we're humans. We have infinite potential.
it's like we also have the best contractors in the world, considering how often the world gets destroyed, or at least Japan, I
Yeah,
should say.
yeah, especially with Ultraman. Especially with
Yeah,
the last Ultraman episode this week.
yeah, we'll get to that.
Fucking trucking buildings.
Yeah, we'll get to that later. Yeah, so and I love how Freya basically says like, yeah, you basically don't even need to come back to life. You're kind of a god. You would be
Yeah,
better off
literally, she
this way.
goes, "Oh yeah, you're an immortal being now."
So basically, the timer was wait for it completely useless.
Yeah, basically, from what I'm gathering from this is the timer with Mugen is when the timer was useless because Mugen is his "I am a immortal being now, suck my dick."
Yeah, although that icon seemed to have vanished after a
I
certain
mean, he
point in
can
this
just do
episode.
that, really. I mean, it's just like, oh man,
Yep.
poof, magic because infinite
Yeah, but
possibilities.
he didn't use it during his like final battle with the Gonmiser thing. He was just in base mode with all the other hoodies hanging around.
I mean, every Kamen Rider does that.
I suppose. Well,
Except for Forze. Forze fights his main villain in his jacket.
Forze fights his main villain untransformed while his friends are spouting nonsense behind him, and then he transforms and uses his base mode final strike, just supercharged, and it's amazing. And I know some people hate Forze because of that, but I don't care. I loved that. It was hilarious, and I.
All I'm saying is that Xaid needs to beat the final boss in level 1.
Oh my gosh. That would be hysterical if he did that, but we're getting ahead of ourselves again. But yeah, so Freya grants his wish and then turns into the little kid voice from the first time we saw the great eye. I was like, what?
And it's like, oh, by the way, I'm going to do you a solid. And I'm going to turn you into a human, and we're going to spend all the money we made on our opening credits to make you fly.
Yep.
Because
Because,
they have to do that in every single goddamn Kamen Rider.
well, not
Or it
every.
feels like to me, seeing as I've only seen two officially.
Well, not every Rider show does that, where they try to match their
Well, no,
intro
I don't
sequences.
mean that. I just mean something from the opening being shown at the very end of the entire series. With Drive, it was the ground spikes.
Yeah, no, not every
And
Rider
then
does
with
that.
Ghost, it's the hang gliding with the parkas.
Honestly, a lot of Rider openings, the things with those is that they've gotten away from it in recent years. But before they used to have scenes from the episode being shown during the intro.
Yeah, I remember that when we were doing five.
Yeah, so like you would see bits and pieces of it during the episode instead of like some generic or some standard scene that would just be there. I think they stopped
Yeah.
doing that with I want to say Wizard, like, or no, I should say they think they stopped doing that with Gaim because I don't remember Gaim having that, but I remember
I mean,
Wizard was
you
doing that.
can't really do that with God because that's gonna spoil shit.
Yeah, and then they just carried on with that with Drive and Ghost, so which I kind of like. It leaves a lot more to
Mystery
suspend.
and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, considering they like to spoil stuff during the next time anyway, so it's
Right.
having less of that spoiled during the intro that helps a lot. But yeah, so Great Eye does all the wish stuff and then turns into a golden snitch and goes into
Yeah,
space.
a literal golden snitch flies away, and then Takurusa's free falling like, crap, I'm gonna die.
And then the hoodies save him.
And then the hoodies vanish, and it's like, right, because the icon system doesn't work, because the Great Eye flew away.
Yep, and then we see back in the Ganma world, everyone's back in their bodies, and then
We get to see QB.
this is, and then during the sequence, we also get to find out where Sage was the whole time, in the attic of the dojo,
Yeah, in the other wing of the attic where none of the shit happens.
and then we also find out that Yersin was a cat, which we did kind of spoil last time because it was way too stupid not to.
Yep, and the reason it's a nod to Double is because one of the fucking generals in Double was a cat.
Yeah, I remember that. Oh, it was so dumb. They would just literally stick a belt on the cat and then shove a Gaia memory into the thing, and then he would
It
become.
wasn't even that. They literally, like, shaved off a part of it and then tattooed it and then just stuck the thing into its back.
No, it was literally they just put a belt on him and then stuck the thing on his back because that's the way the generals worked in Double. Was they didn't do the they didn't have the weird port tattoo on their body like all the other monsters
Yeah,
did.
you're right.
Yeah, they used belts.
Yeah, I only remember seeing Nas could do that since I didn't watch that far into Double. Because that was what bricked my old phone because I was watching it on the website.
It was always goofy though because like one of them would put their belt on backwards, so the thing was on their back.
Yeah.
She had a tendency to just like jump off of things, put the thing on her back, and then throw the memory behind her, and somehow it worked.
That was Taboo, right?
No, that was the
Or
other one.
Clay Doll?
Yeah, Clay Doll.
Yeah.
She would do that 'cause she was crazy. Anyway, I think they all were.
Yeah. Some more
But
than others.
indeed, but yeah.
Some
So
just wanted to get petted.
kitty. I wonder what happened to that cat. I don't remember.
Who knows?
Anyway, so yeah, that's 49 because it pretty much just ends everything's happy, hunky dory, blah blah blah, and then we go to 50, which involves an annoying child from somewhere.
Because reasons. And everyone's speculating that it's Takuru's kid from the future because reasons.
Yep. So basically, this kid shows up, starts spouting nonsense at Takaru, and then this is also where we find out what everyone's been doing. Apparently, Alan, Spectre, and Cannon want to go back to the Gamma world and try to fix it. Although Cannon's survival rate in that world is questionable.
Well, now that the icon system doesn't work, they don't just die and turn into icons anymore.
Yeah, because if I remember correctly, although this has been so dang long, I don't actually really remember, but actually, did they ever really mention why Cannon's an eyeball? When she was still an eyeball?
I know. She
Yeah,
was just. I think it was. She was an eyeball because they just were holding her body captive. So the icon that they were using was a just like a air quote dud icon, if that makes sense.
I don't know. I don't remember if they ever mentioned that. It's just
It's
like,
like a icon that won't form into a Ganma Mook.
I guess, but it's like, I
She
just,
could, like, technically speaking, she could possess somebody,
I don't know. I just like, I
like her
don't.
favorite ball friend did a couple episodes ago.
Yeah, I just don't remember if they ever actually said why Cannon's an icon.
It
Or,
was just plot points where it was presumed that, like, Alan was holding her captive and shit.
but yeah, either way, she's still human, and the Gamma atmosphere is dangerous to humans, which also brings into question how any of them survived for the last few episodes while they were there. I mean, I know Akari made the whole antidote thing, but
Who knows? But
uh,
basically, what I'm gonna guess is, like, they're working to fix the air since they know how to break the air, if that makes sense.
I guess so.
Because most likely the dudes that were the airplane Ganma are there.
Probably.
Igor's there, so I'm pretty sure they can reverse what they did to the air there.
Yeah, I guess, but anyway, so yeah, that's what they plan to do, and then we also have Taku's apparently back in school with Akari tutoring him.
Because, it's not like he's been gone for like 3 months. Or, well, 9 months.
That was only like 6.
Well, there was the first 99, then there's the Tokon 99.
And
Well,
then,
no, the Tokon 99 got cut down.
yeah,
Well, yeah, it gets cut down, then you get the Grateful 99, then that gets cut down. Or no, the Grateful 99 is just a continuation of the Tokon 99. And then he gets,
Mugen, and it all goes, and it all becomes moot.
yeah.
But anyway, so that's what they're
So
doing.
roughly 6 or 7 months total.
Yep, and then we have Sage is still hanging around. He wants to run the temple now. And in the middle of,
Oh, don't. Don't.
yeah, that sounds like trouble. And in the middle of all of this, because, there has to be some kind of plot going on, X-Aid and Dark X-Aid show up. And we have the classic case of mistaken identity.
Like Blood Gaim and Gaim in the crossover.
Yeah, but Blood Guy, no, anyway.
Bujin Gaim looked exactly like Gaim, but he was red.
Pretty much, but I don't think he really interacted with any of the other characters quite like
He
that.
didn't, but when they popped out of the tree, all the people were freaking out and bowing to Gaim, and he's like, they think I'm a war god.
Oh, yeah, that's
And
true.
Baron's just like, you fucking idiot.
And then he becomes a fruit god.
Yeah, he becomes a god. The most awkward way of foreshadowing ever. One quick scene in a movie where your main bad guy's an exact copy of you, but a war god.
Yup, that was goofy. But yeah, so pretty much is like,
But yeah, it's like doesn't Spectre and Alan and Makoto draw like a quick sketch of what the guy looked like,
yep.
but they don't go to mention any color.
No, they don't.
Granted, it's because they think he's the only one.
Yeah, and then they also weren't there when X-Aid shows up, so they can't be like, oh, that wasn't him, wrong colors.
Or, oh man, he looks different now. He was darker before.
Yeah,
That
there's,
sounds horrible.
but yeah, so we get to see Ghost and X-Aid fight a little bit, and then of course they get to do their team up thing, and we actually get to see them fight the X-Aid mooks.
Yeah, they fight the turkey heads.
Yep, and of course the plot point device of this episode was the Shakiri Sport gadget.
Shakariki Sports!
Yep,
And
which Dark
they're
X.
all fighting over that gadget because you don't find out in this episode, you find out in Accident episode 1, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah,
Well,
and
you don't really find out, but you more or less understand why he's doing what he's doing.
yeah, but yes, and then Dark X8 gets away with it, and then X8's like pretty much just like, we'll see you around, and then hops off, and then or he completely leaves. He breaks one of his game blocks and leaves Tucker with a freaking icon.
Yep.
because
That will be used during the crossover, and it looks fucking stupid.
Yep.
I saw the hoodie in a spy shot.
Oh,
I'll
I'm
let you take
sure.
a guess of what it looks like, minus what the face looks like, because you can't see the face.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be something ridiculously garish.
It's essentially it's the default parka, air quotes, of
Yeah.
like Ghost Inspector.
Yeah.
The trim is purple. The main base color is lime green,
Yeah.
and it has the giant X8 face that's on the back of X8 and Genom and all that. It's on its back,
All right.
like how the figures in the suits are. And
Yeah.
that's the hoodie. Besides, it probably has X8's face on the front, like the rider icons.
Goody.
And that's
So,
what it looks like.
well, we'll see it when it comes out eventually. Anyway. But yeah, so after all that nonsense, Kid goes back to the future, mouths the word Tosan, possibly.
Yeah, no one's really sure what they're saying.
Yeah,
Which is
literally.
another thing that happens in another show this week.
Funny about that. Yeah. We have a lot of themes for this episode.
We have a lot of themes where people whisper something and it's like, we don't speak Japanese. What did that say?
Oh.
Subbers can't subtitle, people can't subtitle whispering. Fuck.
Yep, pretty much, which, that's annoying, but oh well. So, I'm sure
Yeah.
at some point we'll figure out what they said. Maybe that kid will be back for the movie war. Hopefully not, because he was annoying.
That's what he said. He said Pac-Man, not Tosan. He said Pac-Man.
He is
Not Pac.
forewarning of the Tyson. Pac-Man! Honore Pac-Man!
He said Waka Waka.
That would be so freaking funny. Anyway.
Uh,
But yeah, so Ghost is over, and just overall thoughts on the show, well, yuck.
I made a Facebook post about this because I shared a memory of like the first like five icon logos I found back last year.
Oh yeah, I
And
saw that.
I said back when the show was good. It was good. The first wasn't it like the first 10 episodes, and then
10,
doing the
15,
hunting for the 15.
yeah, 10, 15 episodes ish. I don't know. I
Yeah, like the
forget.
first 10 episodes or so, it was good.
Yeah, it was
Granted, it seemed
interesting.
rushed, but if you just showed me the first 10 episodes and then like the very last episode part where the Great Eye's like, oh, for wishing this, I'm gonna bring you back to life, and that was it. That'd be fine. That would be a fine little thing. It'd be a nice little short series because it's him getting all the icons, wishing Kennen alive. The Great Eye's like, dude, that was nice of you to do that. You self-sacrifice. I'm gonna let you come back to life too. There you go.
Yeah,
Kamen
this.
Rider Ghost, shorter than Decade.
Yeah, this show just like you said, like the first half or so, it was all right. It kept us interested, and then it just started dragging and dragging and
You know,
making
you
less and
know,
less
you know, though,
sense.
I can tell you exactly when it got bad. When Grateful was introduced,
Yeah, pretty much.
and you know exactly why.
Just all the
You have all 15. Wish yourself alive.
yeah, pretty much. It's like you have this power. Just call them all together, do the thing.
Yeah, keep smacking your lever and slapping the button. Just do that 15 times and just go, hey, I want to redeem my wish. Since, I got this belt, you guys will just come back to me whenever. I want to
Yeah.
wish all this stuff done. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, now I want to come back to life. Thanks.
Yep.
But no.
And instead, it's just like here's all this nonsense and immortality bullcrap and blah blah blah. And it's just getting such a drag to watch. Like, okay, for all the crap that Wizard gets for having a lot of potential and not going anywhere with some of it, when I was watching Wizard, I remember actually not really getting bored with it. I remember staying fairly entertained with it. And then, like, I know a lot of people hate Forze, like, a lot of people I know in the Toku verse hate that show with a passion. That show kept me in.
I watched only like 4 episodes, and the only reason that I was getting bugged was because of the all friendship is magic bullshit. But if it was just like the henshin and the fights, I'd be fine for me. Because I like the way the suit looks. I just all the Gintaro, I want to be your best friend, but I don't want to be your best friend because the plot relies me to not be your best friend stuff was bugging the hell out of me. That's his
Uh,
name, right? Gentaro?
yeah, Gentaro.
Yes! Watched 4 episodes and still remembered his name.
I'd be more surprised if you could remember the rest of the cast.
Oh, hell no. I just know he's playing Ichigo.
Yeah, but
There's
no,
a spy shot of him, and he looks decent.
yeah, but no, it's like that show. It's like it has issues. I won't deny, but it kept me entertained, and I was never really bored with it. There's only like 2 episodes I would ever have real issues with that program. But Ghost, it just made me want to go. Nope, I want out.
Literally, the last 5 episodes, I was just like, I want to watch Drive again.
Which is funny considering
Literally, I literally said that. I was like, I want to watch Drive again.
it's kind of funny that like Drive actually had me like that for a while in the first half because it was like dragging so much. I was like, I want out of this show. This show's boring me. And then
Oh,
things turned
trust me, when I
good.
watched the Raw for X8, I was like that too. And then I watched a sub, and I was like, yes, I love this show.
Suddenly,
Give me more.
well, that's what happens when you wait for subs and you can understand what's going on. Things are less
I mean,
boring sometimes.
when the only words they really use with via context clues and stuff, it's like, I can kind of understand this. Yes, so and so is telling so and so about such and such.
Even with context clues, I don't think I could be able to really watch thing raw. I just prefer waiting for
Episode
subs.
1 was really the only one I could watch raw, and even then, that was stretching.
But anyway, so yeah, Ghost overall, would I ever watch it again? Hell no. Not for a long, long time, if ever. And this is so far the only Rider series where I can say that.
I would only rewatch Ghost just so I can experience Necrom being a bad guy again.
Yeah, that was some of the highlights when Alan was actually evil.
But other than that, the only reason I would ever rewatch Ghost at all would be if, like, in like 5 years or so, my little brother's like, "Hey, what's that one show you used to watch that has like the eyeball looking things?" And that would be it. Other than that, I would try to show him Drive
Yeah,
and
pick any other
definitely
Rider
not
show.
John because that's a little extreme near the end.
Uh, People dropping left and right like flies? I don't know what you're talking about.
Nah.
But yeah, so that's Ghost, and thank goodness we are finally free of this nonsense, at least for now. So let's move on to Zyuogher and happier things. With episode 30, where the Zyuoghers are trying to summon the whale, but no luck. So it's a treasure hunt for the whale.
Whales.
Yes, whales. And something I noticed during this episode is where Azald's coin slot actually is, because he actually has one.
He does.
Yeah, it's on his belt on the right side. Like,
Mm.
yeah, like if you're looking at like just a
You
comparison.
know how bad it. You know how bad I pay attention to his suit design. Last week I was watching it. I was like, is he wearing a tank top? And then I go back and I look at episode 1. It's like, oh, he is wearing a tank top. Man, I don't pay attention. It's like I didn't realize he was wearing shorts and a tank top.
I knew he was wearing like shorts. I didn't realize he had a tank top.
Yeah, he has like a yellow tank top that's like connected to his like necklace thing that he has wrapped around him.
I'm gonna have to double check on that. But yeah, so Azald's coin slot is on the right side of his belt.
That's
So
gonna be awkward.
yeah, so Kubar's got it in his shoulder, Azald's got it in his belt, and then I still haven't figured out if Narya has one.
She probably doesn't because she can't give herself a continue.
Uh, and
Also, it would make what she does to the slots really awkward.
yeah, I was just thinking about that, and then oh, dirty joke. Anyway, but I'm
And I
not.
don't think Genis has one since, he infuses the metals with his essence anyways
He could just make himself grow.
by standing up. I'm I'm sitting down, so I'm level with all of you. Let me stand up and grow 15 feet in size.
It's gonna be hilarious to see what happens with him in the final episodes. But yeah,
My
so
guess is like the lower part of it's gonna like either break apart into like spider legs or some type of bullshit.
that would be interesting. Yeah,
It would be cool. I doubt it's gonna happen now since I said it.
yeah, probably, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, so back to our episode, and yeah, basically the Zyuoghers are like, well, we gotta go find the whale, and then we get a clue from Uncle Mario that there was a geyser spouted.
Yeah, a whole
Or,
bunch of water spouts and shit.
so it's like, hey, that might be where the whale is. Let's go there. And we
Yes,
even
while Mario wears his perfect whale costume in the world.
get.
It's just a whale hat with a little spout thing on the top of it.
And he's
And it's
just like dressed
perfect.
in all blue.
Yeah. That's
Uh,
one of my favorite outfits of his.
yeah, it's pretty good. But yeah, so it's like obviously they're thinking, all right, we got to go looking for this thing in the water, and Misao is all geared up for diving,
Yeah.
which was hilarious to see. But then
Especially when you hear.
but then Bang Ray attacks, and they have to fight him off, and all that fun stuff. And we actually get to see some underwater combat, which I don't think we've seen that in Sentai in a long time.
The last time I even remember seeing it is in O's when he finally got Shout and it was just to show off the tentacle legs.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, those were creepy. When each one of your legs explodes into 4 tentacles, it's creepy.
But very useful for fighting underwater.
Nah.
But yeah, so we
Glad
have
that's where you went with that.
But yeah, so we have Bang Ray is fighting some of them on the surface, and then they end up in the water.
Yes, where
And
we
we
get to see Cube badass fighting.
yes, Cube whale flies or swims by.
Yeah, and then there was a thing I saw in a later episode that I saw that really bugs me, but I'll save that for later.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get to that. And then we also find out in this episode, while Sella and Misao are trying to chase down the whale in their own mechs, Q-Bar has decided to help Bang Ray with his plan, since
By
apparently
spreading poison in the water, which affects Cube, Crocodile, Misao, Cube, Shark, and
Sella.
Sella, who I keep wanting to call Sarah.
But yeah, so apparently Q-Bar, his planet was destroyed by Genis, and he wants revenge.
As you do.
Which again, this leads me to wonder: was Q-Bar the way he is now prior to that explosion, or is him being part robots a side effect? Because there's no way that laser going up and down on his face is natural.
I mean, he could be from like a planet of robots.
That is true, but
He could be like a very, 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 very small transformer from Cybertron that got infinitely fucked today from Gift.
yeah,
I love that acronym so much.
it is pretty great.
I think it's supposed to be like Genis infused fighting technology or something like that.
I honestly don't remember. I'm
I
sure
don't
they.
think they ever said it. I think they just called it Gift.
No, I think they did
No, they
spell it
did
out.
say what it was. Yeah.
It's just been so long, we don't remember. Well, yeah, and we also get to
Super
see.
Sentai Artisan, give us a Megazord-sized gift figure, please. That can transform into the activation button.
Oh man, can you imagine trying to compress that into the activation button?
I mean, it would just be like a shell former where you would just set it on its back or set it on its face,
Yeah, that's true.
and then compared to the Zyuogher toys.
But yeah, we also got to see a new Zord formation in this episode. Zuo Wild Special, which literally just has Leo's legs, and then the
Zuo
add-on.
legs.
And then the add-on of, I think it's the mole and I want to say the giraffe for stability.
Yeah. There's a Family Guy skit where it's Peter wearing in a air quote female form, where he's wearing like a dress and little arms, and it's just like his head, a dress, and then legs. And a guy pulls up and goes, "Do those legs go all the way up?" And then he goes, "Yes." pulls the dress off, and it's just legs like all the way up to like his neck. That's what this reminded me of. It's just like you have like 4 cubes that are just legs, man. It's time to stop.
Legs for days. You know, that's how they roll.
You could kick continents, man. Stop it.
We also got to see the return of Cube Golden Panda.
Yeah, because people needed to be reminded that exists.
So apparently the bear can just do that at will.
Yeah. Makes you wonder why he doesn't stay as a panda.
It also makes me wonder if the other cubes can do that.
I'm just waiting to find out when Bud, or whatever you people are going to call him,
Oh,
is
yeah.
going to give him the others.
You mean, where the hell is the Birdman?
Yeah, Harvey Birdman, attorney at call.
It's like, where's the Birdman? Where's Larry? Because the last time we saw them, they were together. And we haven't seen them since.
Oh. Larry's going to help him find the rest of the animal cubes.
Amigos!
And cube giant exclamation, or no, it's not exclamation point. I think it's cube question mark.
Cube question mark.
It's a thing.
I'm not surprised with this program.
Or at least it was a supposed thing in the same scans that showed Zyuo Orange. Which is bird.
Interesting. Anyway.
Bird is Zyuo Orange, which I was like, yes! An orange one! Yes!
Another orange to add to the list.
Yes, that's 4 now.
New orange guy in Sentai? You just made the list!
Yeah, that will be 4 if you count Battle Cossack, Deca Swan, Toku Rokugo, and then Bird.
Yep, pretty much.
And then with Kamen Rider, it's Burakawani and Ghost.
Yeah, that's literally it. And Ghost, you can kind of argue he's more of a Black Rider than anything.
Yeah, sadly.
Anyway, so after the giant monster goes bye-bye, because, you know, it's Bangray pulling memories again,
Yep.
Naria shows up with a giant freaking fleet of Death Galleon death triangles.
Yeah.
And then it's up to Cube Whale to save the day and kill them all. And we also see Naria tag it with a tracker.
Yeah, Cube Whale's like, I must go. My people need me. Let me purify the waters of its poison, and then use my water spout as a helicopter propeller to go fuck the shit out of these robots.
And just missiles everywhere, and then he even puts some missiles into the Zyuo Wild, and even towards, you know, Yamato and Bangray. Just missiles for everyone.
I understand why, because essentially they're all fighting over this thing, and he's like, I don't know which one's worse. That one looks kind of like my bro, but he's not my bro. Did he kill my bro? I don't know, bro. Let me go.
Yeah, it's just like, and you get a missile, and you get a missile, and you get extra missiles.
Al Qaeda, Oprah Winfrey, everyone gets a missile.
Yeah, basically.
God damn, I'm horrible.
Yeah, so that's the end of that episode, which then leads into the next episode, where it starts with Sella and Misao getting treated from the poison by apparently Tusk just had a homemade remedy.
Well, I mean, when you're the stuck-up smart guy who keeps it cool, you gotta have a homemade remedy.
Yep, and then while that's going on, we have Yamato hunting for the whale, since the whale just flew off.
Yep. And then he finds it, and it just folds up into a cube.
Yep, it's just chilling in a pond. Meanwhile,
it folds into a cube and then makes a waterfall all around it, which I thought was a really nice touch.
Yeah, and the effect of it looked really cool.
Because it's a lot easier to make a water CGI effect than a cube CGI effect.
Yep. And meanwhile, all that's going on, Genesis has deployed a new gift to catch the cube whale.
Yep, and then they make, it's not Wild Tosai King, what is it?
No, it's...
Is it Wild Tosai King?
Yeah, if you're talking about the all-cube formation.
Yeah, I get confused with the names anymore. It's
all the names stacked on top of each other.
Yeah. Nice.
There,
bro.
Yeah, and of course, this episode we find out why Misao was acting so crazy last time. He just wants to be more useful. How adorable.
I feel so bad for him because of the next episode.
Yup, we will get to that in a few
But
minutes.
yeah, he feels useless even though he's probably A, feeling outshined by Yamato, and B, feeling useless because he's not a human. Yamato is getting upgrade forms left and right. Next thing you know, Yamato is going to get an actual battleizer.
No, I think they're probably done with Yamato after this. We're 30
Uh,
episodes plus.
I just thought about something that would be a super huge dick. That sounds wrong. Cube, like, essentially Zuo the world, but with Yamato's animals.
Uh, I don't know how they would design that suit.
It's simple. The chest is the arms are super buff. One arm has a whale gun, and then the chest is split into three with the different faces, and it has the Zuo whale cape.
Hmm. I guess that could work.
Yeah.
But anyway. Yeah, pretty much this whole episode is just fighting for the whale and then Yamato trying to talk to it and get it to work with them.
Yeah, and then Yamato has this whole like heartfelt story where it's like, I know I'm not sadist and all this other stuff, and let me fight this dude who's trying to kill you because reasons, and let me fly into these bullets to show my self-worth.
I love how there's like one spot where Bangray throws like a bunch of energy blasts at Yamato, and Yamato uses both of his swords and a cross block to stop him. And it's just like, nice.
What's Yamato's last name?
Kazakiri.
Okay.
Yep. But then, of course, because there's a gift involved with this nonsense, it shows up, and it's now gift custom, which I think has more guns and can actually be piloted, which is what Nari is doing this episode.
Yep, the Super Narya Megazord.
Yep. And then, of course, because we have a new cube, that also means we get a new Megazord, Dodekaio, which actually looks alright for the most part.
Yeah, it looks nice.
It has a giant freaking spear thing.
Yeah, before that we see Yamato fighting Bungray or Bangray, and then Cube Whale's like, this guy's nice. I, it's like, oh man, flashback to the whale dude nodding at me saying this guy's okay. He's
Oh, yeah.
okay.
We did have a little bit of that silliness.
Let's give him my giant whale spear that I hold as a two-handed weapon, but he's gonna be able to use perfectly.
Yep, and then he even threw it at a gift after he used it to knock Bangray away.
Yeah, the ultimate fuck you. Here's a giant spear from a little dude.
Bye-bye. Just boink.
Because we don't actually see Dota Kai until next episode.
No, we see it this episode.
Do we?
Yeah, it shows up. They fight. It beats Skiff Custom, and then end of the episode shows Cube Whale in its smaller form hanging out with all the other cubes, and then Misao scares it a little bit.
That was adorable.
Yep.
I think it was this episode that the thing that happened bugged me. Cube Whale, like, opened its mouth a little.
Yeah, it did. It opened its mouth.
And you saw teeth.
Even though the design of it looks like it's a baleen cube.
Yes, that's what bugs me.
Yeah, that was a little bit odd.
That was the only part that bugged me was the teeth. Everything else looked amazing.
Yeah, Cube Whale looks pretty cool as a for being
Also,
a square
can we talk
whale.
about the very awkward thing where the dude cock thrusts his weapon out of his body when he transforms?
Oh yeah, it just like pops out of his chest.
It's time to transform.
Yep.
Pelvic thrust of justice.
It could be worse. He could have a crotch laser.
Yeah.
Like a certain robot from Ginga.
Or Bungray.
Yes, Bangray has his crotch
Or
laser.
Scanlan Shorthalt from Geek and Sundry's Critical Role, who summons lightning and shoots it out of his dick. That's a thing that's been so iconic that they put it in their live action opening that they made.
That's hilarious.
Yes, it's great.
Anyway, moving on to the next episode, which opens up with the Zyuoghers making pancakes and Tusk yelling at everybody.
in the back of my mind, that Adventure Time video that everyone posts of making bacon pancakes just kept rolling in my head.
Oh yeah, I know the clip.
And then Tusk is yelling at Sella for putting too much batter in the thing, which is funny because you see it later as a full pancake, and I'm just like, that looks really good.
I was kind of wondering about that. It's like, how did she like? Did she actually flip that and manage to cook it enough to where it would look like that, or did she like leave it and then just kind of turned that way? I don't know. It's like,
Maybe the bottom's like completely burned.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's like the bottom's like
And then
completely burned out.
Leo's flipping his pancakes too early because
He's
he,
impatient.
yeah, he's impatient.
Yeah,
Amu's getting hers from Yamato because she's a moocher.
pretty much. And now
And Misao's being a badass pastry chef like a motherfucker.
I know it's like that is a very decorated pancake.
And Tusk is just like, no, fuck you. Your thing looks too pretty. You won't be able to taste the very bland thing that is a pancake.
Well,
That we already cover in syrup whenever we eat them because that's how they're made to be eaten.
yeah.
Like, Tusk was just giving Misao the biggest fuck you for no reason. It's like, it's covered with so much stuff. How can you eat that? It's like, okay, you eat a pancake without any syrup on it and tell me how delicious it tastes.
Yeah, no. Even I wouldn't eat my own pancakes without syrup.
Yeah.
Most of the time,
Elephants never forget, but this one sure is a fucking retard. I shouldn't have said that word. I know that offends people. I'm sorry. You can yell at me in the comments.
he's a control freak. That's pretty much what he is.
Yep, and we get to see by far my favorite monster design.
Yep, we get to see.
Just because of its concept.
Yes, our monster of the week, Flipsider, which apparently puts bad eye makeup on people and pulls out their hidden sides.
Yeah, puts kabuki makeup on people.
Which is hilarious because the Zyuogher helmets get angry eyes. That's funny.
Yes.
And then
It's time to meet Mr. Angry.
I'm so glad you were thinking the same thing I was. It's like, except of course that was just him accidentally sticking his boots in his face.
Yeah.
Still, that was funny.
But
And then Leo is still just Leo.
yeah, Leo's the same because he lets everything out.
I know. It was like, see Leo just like acting. It's like, wait, are you actually acting like you're affected, or are you just not affected at all? And it's like,
Like the
wait,
entire time he's just like, whoa, that's like literally he becomes nice. It's just like, aren't you taking that a little too far? And he even looks at Tusk. He's like, these guys are going a little overboard.
yeah, which is kind of like, does Leo have a hidden side, or just because he's so open, he's just like,
I think it's just because he's so completely open, he becomes nice. Like nicer because everyone else is being more of an asshole.
yep. And then we,
Should we stop them? That like Misao can't condense into a ball any more than he already is. Should we really stop them?
yeah, this is very much a Misao episode because everyone's
This
throwing
is a Misao gets the shit kicked out of him by words.
quite literally.
Yes, that was great, especially because of me watching Diamond is Unbreakable. Because one of the stands in it is named Echoes or Reverb, depending. And its whole ability is it throws automatopoeias at you. Like, if it will throw the word fire at you and you will get burned.
That's amazing.
Yes,
It
it is.
But yeah, so pretty much just Misao gets all the crap thrown at him,
And then
literally
he
and
runs away
figuratively.
because he's sad. I really wanted him to get hit. And then just be like the biggest asshole to all of them.
I know that would have been great, but then
And like he gets hit. He doesn't get angry eyes or anything. It's just he just looks over at the monster and he's just like, "Thank you," and then just goes off.
and I love the
That would
voice.
have been great.
I love how we had another voices in his head scene for Misao, but instead of
Yeah, but it was the three Zyuoghers, and they were actually wearing the kabuki makeup.
still wearing the makeup and just like
Even though he didn't see that before, because it was the other five that walked in.
yeah.
That was great.
Uh,
It was like, that's a nice continuity on our sake. Weird on his sake that he thinks they wear kabuki makeup.
Yeah, and then we had after all of the torturous words thrown by everybody, Misao pretty much just turns into Randy Orton again and just goes crazy for a few
Yeah, poor
minutes.
guy. Misao, I feel so bad for him.
Yeah,
I want Zyuogher to be made into a Power Ranger series just so I can buy a Zyuo the World figure.
that would be cool, yeah.
Besides spending like $30 on the vinyl figures to get all three forms,
Yeah.
not counting Instincts Awakened, just because I like his character so much. The
Yeah.
super depressing thing is I can look past that because he has emotion, unlike most Sixth Rangers
yeah.
who just have one emotion, and that's kill, kill, kill.
You know what's sad though is that I saw someone on Twitter tweet this. I forget who it was, so I'm not even gonna try and call them out on it. But someone actually tweeted because of Misao, they missed. They said that they missed Star Ninja from the Ninja. I was like, wow, Zyuoghers made someone miss something from the Ninja. That's sad.
Damn.
I know, and it's just like either these guys are just not enjoying the show, or I don't know, whatever. To each their own. That's all I can
I
say.
just can't wait to see if we're gonna get the Power Ranger Super Ninja Star Burger.
Indeed, that debate still rolls on. Anyway,
Or it's gonna be the goddamn guitar. I hope not.
but yeah, so I love how they actually managed to fight this thing by since it could actually do physical reversing and just like make you go the other way. It's like, well, let's fight back to back. So no matter what, there's someone facing it. So we got some nice
Yeah.
teamwork scenes.
And then, before that, all the Zyuoghers get hit, and they're all just spouting evil, mean things at
Misao.
Misao, and he's just like, no, 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 and then Tusk is like, but I like the guy, and he's like, what? And everyone's like, and everyone, even when they're in their super dick bad mode, they're like, oh yeah, Tusk is always a stuck-up asshole. He never shows his nice side.
It's like he doesn't
And
have
Leo's
one.
just like, oh yeah, that's right. I'm not a bad guy because this power doesn't work on me, and I really was surprised this wasn't a Leo-focused episode.
Yeah.
That would have been great if Misao got hit as well, and Leo was hit, but he wasn't affected, and that was the whole point of the episode, was us realizing that being open all the time sometimes can be a good thing, but most of the time it's not.
Yeah.
But
Uh.
it's showing how words can hurt. So that's
Yeah.
also a good life lesson.
Indeed. But yeah, they beat the monster, blow him up in giant form, and then I love.
I love his suit design so much.
yeah,
He's
the
a
weird.
dude with his hands on his hips, but then if he turns around, he's a bigger dude
yeah, it's pretty hilarious.
with a face that's a hat.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
It's a very Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Gee.
I almost said Dr. Hyde and Mr. Jekyll.
Hmm. Funny you mentioned that name, considering one of our other programs, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love how like after the monster goes kaboom and Genesis is like sitting in the throne room. Is like, good thing that power never got used on any of us. I'd hate to see what any of our hidden sides would be like. And I'm just like, funny you say that. And then of course the camera
Yeah.
focuses on Q-Bar.
Yeah, it's like, man, good thing he didn't hit any of us. And I just like, and Genesis is just like that, and Q-Bar just in the back of his mind is just like, does he know? I mean, he saw me fight. I mean, did he see me fight Bangray? Did he not? Should I turn around right now and try to cap him with my... Oh, wait, no, I don't have a gun. I have a sword.
Oh yeah, speaking of Banger, we did actually see him this episode, but
Yeah, and he had a giant scar, and I was like, oh, that's a nice detail.
yeah, he's still recovering from battle damage
And
from
he's
last
just
time.
watching the Megazords like, you motherfucker.
Yeah. So pretty much, and at the end of this episode, it actually seems like Misao's growing a little bit. So who knows?
Yeah, he's learning to take punches and even give them as he puts Tusk in his place.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
It's like, Tusk, you know, it was nice working with you, but I'd rather work with Yamato, so let me creepily scoot towards him because I can. As we're having another pancake party and I'm making everybody my pancakes while they're criticizing me. Because character development.
Yup, pretty much.
I will say, though, those pancakes looked fucking delicious.
I know. Those look so good. It's like, oh, it's making me
I don't
hungry.
like half of the things that was on there, and I would eat that.
But yeah, so that's Zyuoghers. So still good episodes. Still having fun with the show. Can't believe we're only like 18 episodes away from the end of it though, or less.
I know. I feel so
This
sad now.
I know this show's been flying so
I
fast.
Yeah. But that's what they say time flies when you're having fun,
I know. It's like this is what happens when you have a good program. You actually enjoy it, and you don't realize how fast the episodes are going by until it's
and you
gone.
don't want it to leave unless it gets adapted into Power Rangers, which then bring it on. If
Yeah.
if they adapted into Power Rangers, this episode and the headphone episode need to be brought over.
Yeah, those were some good episodes.
Those are my favorites.
Yeah, those would be good to see if they adapt them. It's like, yeah, it's like there are some episodes for Sentai that you can absolutely adapt and they actually work pretty well, but then of course obviously there's some that don't and shouldn't be, as we've seen from previous Neo Saban.
Yeah, like when you couldn't cut like a not even 1 minute fight scene where a character turns into a certain form that doesn't exist, but just because we need to prolong the episode to let our sixth ranger have his super badass ultra form.
Anyway, speaking of Power Rangers, let's just move into that, shall we? To Dino Charge, episode 13, which starts on backstory on the Energems.
Yeah.
So, hey, there's something. Apparently, this dark Energem was created after as like residue from all the good Energems being made. No idea how they were made, but it's
Let's think about this though. There are To put this in perspective, he just went, okay, so there are 10 energems filled with the power of good.
yeah.
And for every one of those, there's only one energem filled with darkness, not, another 10.
Yeah.
There should be equal.
I know, right? That would be something interesting.
There should be equal, but I know why there isn't equal, and it pisses both of us off, mostly you.
Yeah. If what I read is really true, and it's like, really? But, we've still got like 6 episodes or so left to find out.
I mean, less than that. We have like 5 episodes to figure out because he wasn't in the next time.
But yeah, so we still have the old trope of for everything good there has to be something evil to balance it. In this case, it's the dark energem, which apparently is the only thing that can stop these energems. Which is like, great, stop them from what? Stopping people from
Besides
aging?
budget.
Yeah. Anyway. So, with our villains for this show, Wrench made a monster that has a cockpit for Heckle. And apparently it has all the data from their previous Zord fights, so it's impervious.
Oh, yeah.
Which, that's actually kind of genius.
That's also what Nario was doing. They put like a mini one of the triangle cubes in gift while they were fighting.
Oh yeah, we forgot to mention
Which,
that.
we know exactly why they were doing that.
Collecting data, and what will they do with it? Who knows?
They'll use it to make another gift or another rope monster that's gonna fight them, and they're gonna use Wild Tosai Dodekakayo. Or whatever it's called, the Super Mega Ultra Zord that has 10 blocks of straight legs.
Yeah. And meanwhile, what are the Rangers doing? Dealing with a food critic at their cafe. Why is a food critic at a museum cafe again? I have no idea.
Because food critics will go anywhere to get a job.
Apparently.
And hell, there was one that was a food inspector. I was gonna say there was one at the Krusty Krab, for God's sakes.
And apparently, Chase has a recipe for exploding cake. That's like the world's greatest April Fool's joke. Just like, make the cake, give it to someone, run, and watch it blow.
Yeah, that's pretty damn good.
But of course, all it's really good for in this episode is just setting up for some semi-drama of sorts.
If you could even call it that. Because it's
Yeah.
Power Rangers.
Literally, all that happens is like while he's trying to make this thing, this pavlova or whatever it's called, he accidentally knocked his energem into some of the mixture, and then when the cake explodes in the critic's face, the piece with the gem somehow ended up in her handbag, and so he had to chase her down to get it, and then
Yeah.
ended up saving her life because Rangers.
Yeah, because Rangers.
And then of course she gives him an idea for something later on. Meanwhile, Singe is back, and he brought friends. We have Doomwing and Arcanon, who apparently was Sledge's boss.
Or, for those of you who know Super Sentai, it's Chaos and Evil Tauren.
Yeah, Mad Tauren.
Yeah. Evil Bird.
Yep.
Or knockoff Magician's Red.
So most of this episode is pretty much Arcanon versus Heckle in Zord combat, which was interesting because Arcanon's pulling chargers that he presumably built.
And we totally know why.
Yeah. Although what I'm
Because of the next episode, like a motherfucker.
Yeah. Although what made me curious is how did he charge them? I'm presuming he used the Dark Energem, but I'm not entirely sure. Like, this isn't a case like with Fury where he had, Ivan inside him who had an actual Energem to use for charging.
I mean, because you and me saw that you've seen the next episode, so we know that they have a Energem.
Yeah, now that you're mentioning that, it's like, right, they did have that. I
So
forgot
they're
about that.
probably siphoning from that.
Yeah, that makes more sense all of a sudden.
When Doomwing turns into the Silver Ranger.
Yep.
Because we totally knew he was, because of course he is, because he's fucking Tauren.
Yeah, but
I like how they did that one, though. I like it.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, so pretty much this is just an interesting remix of Kyoryuger footage where you have Zord fights with villains inside them, and then you have Heckle, or I should say Snide, inside of the other monster that Wrench built, and they're just fighting it out.
Yeah.
So it's like the joys of having original cockpit footage. You can do silly things like this, and it actually works.
Yeah.
But in the end, Heckle loses, and because the Rangers create their Ultra Zord combination to take his monster down, and then Arcanon puts him back into lockup.
Yep. Because he's totally not going to come back.
Yeah, well, we'll see how long they keep him in there, because, again, we don't have that many episodes left.
Who knows, maybe he's going to come back and they're going to do something that's going to... I know what they're going to do. But I can't say it until we talk about the next episode.
Well, since there's not much else for this episode, let's just move into the next episode. Which starts with apparently Chase knowing one of the NZ boys. And Shelby's going crazy because, favorite band and all that.
Yep.
And Tyler's annoyed as all hell.
Because he's jealous, just like Akari was in the Ichigo movie, because of the element L-O-V-E. Cue the Onari smug face.
Yeah, but at least it actually goes somewhere in this episode.
Well, yeah, because it does in the Sentai.
Yeah, but it's a lot better here than it is in the Sentai.
Yeah, because in the Sentai it just sort of happens.
Yeah.
Whereas in this they're actually explaining the shit.
Yeah, so after all the nonsense in the cafe with the NZ boy, Rada, I think his name was.
I don't remember. I literally watched it like 2 hours ago and I don't even remember.
They go off to find that the Silver Ranger is on Earth. And then, of course, we find out that the Zenowing is stuck inside of Doomwing.
Yeah.
Although I do like the fight footage that we had in this episode with Tyler versus Doomwing, because it's basically reused footage of Daigo versus his dad when his dad got the Silver Ranger powers.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's some really nice reusage.
Mm-hmm. And then they have to figure out a way to split Tauren and Doomwing apart. Well, Zenowing and Doomwing apart.
Yeah, although I love how Doomwing tries to put a bug on Tyler's Dino communicator, whatever they call those things, I forget.
Dinocom?
Yeah, the Dinocom, and then Tyler immediately notices it, and it's like, what the heck is this thing?
Yeah, let me shove this into an aquarium.
Yep.
Because that's totally not going to ruin this thing that's totally not waterproof.
Well, I think he's like he put it
Oh
in
no, it
there.
has to be waterproof. It doesn't have a phone jack.
Yep.
Topical jokes, people. Topical jokes.
Yeah. So, and of course, while they're trying to figure out how to split the two wings apart, we're back with the singing subplot,
Yeah.
where we actually get to see Kendall try to help Shelby because apparently Kendall had voice or singing for a while,
Because we need to have someone have super convenient plot point relevance.
and then Tyler's
So
even
let's have the two characters that kind of don't really like each other have to work with each other.
for all of 3 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then of course we also see like Chase trying to help Tyler out because Tyler
Yes.
wants.
For singing in front of a dog.
Yeah, it's because Tyler wants to impress Shelby because he likes her,
Because of course.
and then of course Chase just flat out it's like, dude, just tell her how you feel. What's the worst that can happen?
It would make the rest of the series awkward if she said no. We
Yeah,
gotta work
true.
together. Let's make the Dino Charge Megazord. Stego Para Formation. Really? Yeah.
Does that even work? I thought Para was on the same arm as Stego. Or is that one Raptor? I don't even remember.
I think you're right. I think that's Para, and then it would be Raptor.
I can't remember. I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter which arm it is. Anyway,
The gloves look the same on either side. It doesn't matter.
touche. Anyway, but yeah, after all that, we actually do get to see Shelby try out, and she has a pretty kick-ass singing voice.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tyler tries to go up and embarrasses the hell out of himself because, of course. And so
Because Red Ranger has to have stage fright.
she goes up to save him, and like they turn it into a duet. And I love how she tells him just pretend the crowd's pineapples, which you actually see them as pineapples, and I'm just like, of course it's pineapples because Nickelodeon and that stupid sponge.
Yeah, I see. There was another thing in the back of my mind that I really want. I really want to see someone do.
Hmm.
Re-edit that footage to where one of the people in the background is just Gaim, and just sitting there like waving.
But of course, they also had to do something that's a lot more kid friendly because the usual stage fright joke is pretend everyone's in their underwear,
Yeah.
which of course that doesn't work on a kids show.
Well, not a live-action kids show.
Yeah, true.
You can do it in cartoons.
Yeah, although even then it's like a little weird because it's like you can put dudes in their boxers all damn day, but you try to stick women in their
Yeah. Well,
underwear.
normally it's always like a thing of just dudes. Normally when they do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because of course you stick women in their underwear and everyone gets up in a hissy fit.
Yeah.
Their panties get in a bunch, as it were.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we actually get to see Tyler and Shelby sing and dance together, and they're actually adorable.
Yep. And then Coda has a funny moment.
Yeah, it's like, I want to try. It's like, I don't think so, but I want to travel world. It's like, oh, Coda.
Call Santa.
Yeah, go call Santa. Apparently you have his number.
Yeah, go call Santa or ask Kendall to use her Zord, seeing as it can go to fucking space.
Yep, pretty much.
Or, ask Ivan, since, he also has a flying Zord.
That too. And then, of course, Kendall actually does figure out how to get Doomwing and Xenowing split, so they hatch that plan. And we have this cute little scene with Shelby and Tyler in the canyon.
Yeah, that awkward, that very horribly dialogue. I'm gonna fight Zeno.
Actually,
Where
I was
you
thinking
at?
about the other moment
But yeah,
before
then the
that.
part right after that where they have like a be safe moment, that was nice.
Actually, the beast. Actually, I'm thinking of the other thing where it's like she's talking to him about how he had the courage to get up and sing and dance and
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
whatever, and
yeah.
he basically says it's because he likes her, and basically it's like they're about to kiss, and then Coda shows up. It's like, Coda, you cockblock.
He doesn't know what that means. He's a caveman.
I know, but it's just like, ah, jerk. We could have had a ranger kiss, and we haven't had that since MMPR days. But nope.
Yeah.
Uh, But yeah, speaking of the hammy acting, it's like the villains are morons for falling for that. But I love that scene just because it's like it's Tyler and Shelby reading lines, doing like horrible acting, but yet we know these two actors can actually act. So it's always funny when you see actors that can actually act have to act like they can't act.
They were told to do Super Mega Force impersonations.
Burn. But yeah, the villains fall for it. They catch
Zena Wing and this really cool thing that splits people apart.
yeah, they catch him in the splitter gizmo that Kendall whipped up, split the two apart, and then,
And that's how they're gonna get Snide.
oh yeah, I would
They're
not be.
gonna split him from Heckle, and because of that, Heckle's probably not gonna have his powers anymore. Because those are probably powers he got because of being infused with Snide. They're gonna
Yeah,
defeat Snide once and for all, and Heckle's just gonna be a normal guy who they're probably gonna have work for them at the cafe.
yeah,
Like how in Ninja Storm, the two girls, or the two bad guy chicks became students at the Win Ninja Academy.
yeah. I honestly would not be surprised if what you're saying actually happens. But yeah, they got
Or
Zen.
maybe he becomes the Navy Ranger. As everyone fucking wants him to be, but apparently he might not be. Who knows? Anyways.
Well, yeah, so they get Zenowing, they split him from Doomwing, although they don't get the Energem, sadly, and they basically blast this Doomwing to, or at least beat him up a bunch and blast him with the Megazord. Although it
Yeah.
doesn't die,
And
but
then he reverts back because we needed to use the guys fighting evil Tauren scene at least once in Megazord form.
yeah.
But can I just say it was so nice seeing Tauren again.
Oh, yeah, it's nice seeing that suit. And apparently, Keeper trained him, so that's something.
Yeah.
So once again, we have another case of, hey, here's an alien that lived for 65 million years.
So here's my question.
Hmm.
They're making a Doomwing figure.
Yeah.
Do you think we're gonna get a Zeno Wing and a Keeper figure anytime soon? I doubt it, but it would be nice.
I could see a Zenowing potentially. Keeper, I'm not so sure.
I mean, I know, but it would be nice
It would be,
to
but
have the Rangers with their two monster counterparts. You know
I
what I
don't.
just thought about?
Hmm.
Because there's not that many episodes left, I don't think we're going to get a passing of the torch for Silver. I
Probably.
think it's going to be torn the whole way through. I'm happy about that.
Yeah, I could see that, and I mean, it is OG footage, so they could actually get away with that.
Seeing as the only person you could think about giving it to is Cyan.
Except he already has powers, so nope.
Yeah, because, it's the whole thing of in Kyoryuger it was Daigo's dad that became Silver.
Yeah, because Torin passed it to him,
Yeah.
and Gigas approved, of course.
Yep. They still never answered the question about the bronze bars.
And they never will.
Of course not.
Speaking of questions, though, this is something that I doubt it's going to be anything in particular, but Tyler got caught in the splitter blast when they split Zenowing and Doomwing. I wonder if there's anything going to come of that. Probably not, but
My guess is it's going to be something stupid like he's starting to unbond with his Energem.
I don't know. It's like you said. I have a feeling it's probably not going to be anything. It's just like, up, he got caught in the shot and knocked around. I doubt it's going to come back to be anything in particular.
Yeah, who knows?
Though it would be
Maybe.
kind of funny if there was actually like a Dark Tyler for like 2 episodes or something.
Yeah.
Just as like something extra or whatever. Who knows? But at the end of the episode, it pretty much confirms that Tyler and Shelby are now a thing because we actually see them holding hands and being adorable.
Yay.
So, yay! They're a thing. We have a couple in Rangers again. And it's a better story than their Sentai counterparts, so screw you, Gyoryuger, on that one.
Yep.
And now to end the trilogy of Dino Charge stuff with Stupid. Because it was a Halloween episode this week for some reason. Again, they're airing Halloween way too early.
Probably because don't they do like a whole like all day event or something on Halloween or something?
I don't know. I don't watch cable. So.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Uh. So, apparently the monster this week has a Halloween court that he can use for things. And what does he decide to do? Put the Rangers on trial. And it's a stupid clip show.
It's a clip show like every goddamn holiday show.
It's apparently this is a court that Keeper actually knows about because he starts spouting about it to Kendall and
Yeah, he's
Ivan.
like, this guy's never lost a thing.
I will say the two mummy monsters that he has in his employ were kind of funny because one of them's
Those
like
were cool.
one
Like
of
the suits were cool. I like
yeah.
those.
I love this. Like they had a joke though. It was like one of the monsters was like, "Hey, let's go get a donut. You don't have a mouth." I was like,
Yeah,
"Okay, that's actually funny." And then another funny moment is Ivan quotes Shakespeare at one point when he and Kendall are trying to get
I love
captured,
that scene.
and
Shakespeare, he was a good friend.
then so I was like, "Oh, Ivan, you're Shakespeare." And then we had the other two rangers show themselves. Speaking of Cyan and Gray,
Graphite.
whatever,
I know.
they showed
It
up to
pisses me
help.
off more than it does you.
They showed up to help, and then we had a nine ranger morph. They kill the monster, and episode ends with them going off to a costume party. Although we do get a scene of Fury in the ship carving a pumpkin, and it was like, oh hey, that actually looks really cool.
Yeah, and both of the eyes were lit up with fire, and it was really cool and really creepy at the same time.
But yeah, so that was that episode.
Then I like how all their costumes were really like awkward.
What do you mean?
Yoshi was a samurai.
Okay,
Tyler's actor looked like he was a mariachi dude.
okay,
Those were the two that really stuck out for me. Riley was Sherlock Holmes.
because of
Shelby was a
course,
was a pirate.
because why not?
I thought, yeah, and then
Ivan was a straw man.
Scare.
Yeah,
No,
scarecrow.
Ivan was a scarecrow, and then Kendall was a cowboy.
And then I think Chase was a vampire.
Yeah, Chase was a crappy vampire at that.
Actually, no, I don't think Kendall was a cowboy, but I forget what she is. I think she's kind of like a Zorro type deal, just
Or
without the
like a
mask.
musketeer or something.
Yeah, she even had like a
Yeah.
drawn-on mustache and little goatee,
Yeah,
which was
that was
kind of
awkward.
funny. Anyway,
Was it just me, or did that witch, the person who was the witch, seem familiar?
um, might just be you. To me, it was just a witch that was summoning monster spirits to be
When I
witnesses.
first saw it, I thought, is this going to be like one of those creepy episodes where like all the people are actually just like the other Rangers, but painted up in like Halloween costumes or some type of shit? Because when I first saw the witch, I was like, is that Kendall? No, no, that's not her. It would have been weird.
That would have been weird if they'd been pulling double duty for that, but no. And then the court's just a bunch of flaming pumpkin heads.
Yeah,
And the
that
monster,
just made me want to watch Halloween Town.
and then the monster basically filled the jury with,
Vivix, and then somehow Candelira and Curio with their giant fucking heads.
yep. So of course it's
Literally, the hood comes off, and it's just like, see, that would have been funnier if you could actually saw the person before in the jury with that head,
yeah.
and
but
then like have the Rangers go, "Look, that's obviously so and so," and then the pumpkins are just like, "Shut up,
but yeah, this
we are
episode.
the Halloween court."
But yeah, this episode was just bleh. I mean, it's a Halloween episode. It's harmless for the most part, but it's just still kind of meh. And you can
Yeah,
tell that this is definitely like not really meant to be taken seriously, considering the fact that you saw nobody in charge. It was literally just Candelier and Curio and Fury. Like there was no sign of Heckle. There was no sign of Arcanon or Singe or Doomwing or any of them.
right.
So it's like you could probably stick this
Hell, we
thing
didn't even
anywhere.
see Xenowing
Yeah, you could stick this episode literally anywhere, probably.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I don't count it as a numbered episode, because
Anywhere as long as there's at least 8 Zords. Or 8 Rangers. 9 Rangers.
yeah, basically anywhere past Tyler's dad.
Yeah.
Anyway, shall we move on to Orb?
Yep.
Episode 11, where we have the mom wants her daughter to get married plot, and Naomi just used Guy as her fake boyfriend.
In the awkwardest way to ask ever, let me ask you while we're in a bathhouse.
Oh yeah, I was like, what?
And then because we needed an awkward scene of the other two guys smashing through a wall made out of cups.
Yeah, that was just bizarre.
Like, I'm just watching this, I'm just like, okay, this is creepy. And it's even creepier. And that was supposed to be added for comedy effect, but that's just even creepier.
Yep. And then, during all the shenaniganry with this, Juggler shows up and just makes things weird, and Naomi's mom kind of takes to him.
Yeah.
Yikes. Of course, I do love how eventually, like, Guy and Juggler get a moment to themselves off in this, like, side hallway, and Juggler's, like, expositing, like, all his evil plans, whatever, and then suddenly, in comes Naomi's mom to take pictures, and then, like, Naomi drags her away again, and the guy's just like, where were we? It's like, right back to exposition mode, and it's like,
Yeah, and then it's like, okay, let's fight. Oh, come on, boys, don't fight over me. I mean, my daughter. I just wanted to just be like, grow big and step on her, please. She's annoying. If it
uh,
wasn't for the fact that she helps the plot and like 2 episodes later, kill her.
well, next episode, but I thought that was just funny. It's like the sudden broken flow for a joke, and it's like, that actually made me laugh.
Yeah, let's interrupt our exposition to make comedy.
Well, it actually kind of worked because like it's a
Yeah.
super tense situation, and then suddenly joke.
Yeah, because Guy wants to be a lawyer.
Oh yeah, that was the fake story. I remember that. And he had all the
Yeah.
crap written on his hand.
I was surprised he was able to read that
I know with how tiny it was.
with how tiny and smudged it was.
Oh yeah. And then we had a Titan show up, aka the giant
Yeah,
spirit of.
topical.
Yep, literally my note for that one was like, Titan,
Yeah,
because
it
we had
was
the giant spirit of the.
I don't want to try to ruin her name. It was something with a T, Hime.
Well, Hime means princess, so
It was Princess Whatchamafuck of the Forest from the earlier episodes.
yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have her name written down here,
It's
so
like Taurama Hime or something like that.
it's like Tamara. Yeah, sounds
Something like
about
that.
right.
Tamira Hime.
Yeah, something like that. She shows up and starts like expositing or like saying something to the guy, and then eventually Juggler just like gets his evil plan in motion and gets the giant monster out.
Yep.
Also, we got to see some more of Guy and Juggler fighting, which was fun.
Yeah, it always is.
Yep. So Guy goes to fight the Orochi monster, and he loses.
He loses like a bitch. All of his forms were taken out.
Yep. And then
Poor, poor guy. Wah, 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 wah.
later on, Juggler finds Guy's unconscious body and just steals the cards, the holder.
Because we need a reason for him not to use those cards again in this episode, in the next episode.
Yep, which is a perfect transition into 12, where after his rampage, the Orochi decides to take a nap.
Yeah.
And then apparently at some point, Naomi found Guy and dragged him back to their headquarters, because when we rejoin him, he's waking up from a dream with that lady who we finally have a name for, Natasha.
Yeah.
And of course, also Naomi's mom is there, and they have some weird scene of her trying to understand Naomi. To the point where she ends up going with Shin and Jetta on a mission.
Yeah, that was creepy. Like the something search people was okay, but then like the hip wiggle was really awkward.
Yeah, Naomi's
I was just
mom is
like,
weird.
no. It's bad enough they're wearing like Nazi armbands. Just please stop.
Yep.
Go back to the giant people fighting like giant babies.
Indeed. But yeah, so
So they go to that creepy desert place or the creepy forest place, and
they find the memorial for with Tamayura. Apparently, that's her name. I just had to look it up.
that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, and they put it back together, but nothing
There's something I
happens.
noticed though that what's his face, science dude.
Oh, Shin.
Yeah, his device made a very, very, very interesting noise.
What?
That beeping sound sounded a lot like, from what I can remember, since it's been like a couple months since I've seen it, but that sounds a lot like the original Ultraman beeping.
Interesting. I didn't notice that. I'll have to go back and re-listen to that. But, huh?
Or it was just a very consistent beeping noise that, because of me watching another Ultraman show, attributed to that because reasons.
I don't know. Who knows? Anyway. And I love how, like, this whole time they're trying to fix this thing, freaking Naomi's mother is planting rare seeds, which apparently equal glowy plants that summon spirits, because they were trying to
Yeah,
get.
I'm gonna plant rare seeds. In the back of my mind, the me that watches everyone play Stardew Valley goes, "You're not gonna get a lot of money for those."
Oh, yeah, and we also get a scene of Juggler gloating in Guy's face while he's hanging onto the card holder,
Yeah,
which,
and then
that was fun.
they get the whole memorial thing put back together, sort of, kind of, in a way.
Yep, and then they water the plants grow, and then Tamayura shows up while Orochi is still in the middle of his rampage because he woke up.
Yep, and then she goes to Guy and is like, "Hey, here's Zafi's card, because that's the guy that was holding Orochi. Oh, by the way, here's the Belial card that we use to mess up Zafi. Have fun with these."
I was like, yeah, here's Zafi, here's Belial. I was like, how did you get Belial? Like, I'm guessing pickpocket.
Yeah, Juggler. Well, Juggler threw it at the Zafi card to break it.
Ah, okay, so
That much I remember.
yeah, it's. But I actually didn't rewatch episode 11 for today, so I just had running off of
I just
notes.
remember that. That was just like the only scene I really remembered from that.
Oh yeah, she basically just tells him, "Hey, use these," and then and so he tries to get it to work, and unshockingly, the dark card doesn't want to play nice.
Yeah, and then it wasn't until the ghost of the
Tamayura
Tamayura dies and he
or gets
goes,
blasted,
"I'm angry."
and it suddenly works.
Can I just say the creepy laugh it made when it appeared was really messed up?
Oh yeah,
That creepy laugh just made me feel just so uncomfortable.
it was like, yep, that's a Dark Ultra, all right. And the new mode looks really cool. And holy crap, is it dangerous? Because as we alluded to earlier in this episode, it was throwing buildings at the monster.
Yeah, I even like that the something search people were just like, he's kind of brutal.
Oh yeah, even
And in the
more.
back of my mind, I was just like, I like this guy.
Oh, and of course my next note, which I'm sure made you really happy: giant buzzsaw slicing the tail off.
That was an added touch, yeah. I
Uh,
actually looked away at that scene for a quick. No, like I looked away right before it. I heard the monster yell. I look back. I just see where the tail was supposed to be, and I'm like, oh, he pulled the tail off.
no, he buzzsawed that thing.
Ah, yeah,
He
and
literally,
then
yeah,
and
energy
then
buzzsaw,
use the tail
zip.
to beat it to death. Use it to absorb one of the blasts, and then just walks through the other like three like a boss.
Yep, and then just like eventually just blows the thing up, and then we have after that we see Guy and Juggler once again together. Juggler throws him back his other cards, and just like, you
He's
enjoyed
like,
that.
I've been defeated. Here's your other cards, even though I want to see you use those other two cards a lot more.
And it's like that was you looked really cool, just destroying everything.
Yeah, I like that. He did what most of the fans were thinking. That looked really cool. I can't. I mean, you had to have felt really awesome doing all of that because that was cool. I mean, you fucking threw a building at this guy.
I was like, I just thought that building was empty.
Literally pulled it and its foundation out of the ground and threw it at the monster.
Yeah, it was crazy, and I
All
loved
that's
it.
all that's left in the show is the original form.
Yep, which we'll see eventually.
Yep. From what I hear, it's super fucking overpowered.
Oh, no doubt. But yeah, that was that episode. I don't really think of anything else that was too important from that one. And then we get a clip show for episode 13, which honestly I will admit I skipped through most of this because there was didn't seem really to be much of a plot value to this one. It was just literally they're cleaning up around the office and then having flashbacks and stuff. And that's really about it. That's all I saw.
Can I be honest?
Huh.
I didn't even realize I didn't watch this episode because I was just thinking, oh yeah, we skipped like a week. I mentioned to you that I really liked the like. I remember mentioning that the next episode starts off really creepy. I didn't even remember that there was another episode after it. I was just like, okay, there's the other episode I needed to watch.
Well, you didn't miss much for 13. Like I said, I
I
skipped
can see
through it.
that.
It was a clip show,
Yeah,
which it's like it's halfway through the show. It makes sense to do it, but literally, it's just like them just like reminiscing, and then you also get to see like all of Ultraman's forms and whatnot, and then like I looked through it to see if there was like anything plot important, but there didn't seem to be. It's basically just here's the cooldown after the insanity that we just had with Belial and Zoffy's new form or whatever. So
yeah.
Anyway, let's move on to our new guy since
Well, you want to talk about the other thing first?
uh
That's really short, and there isn't really much to talk about with that.
yeah, sure, let's do that. So this, as we alluded to earlier, the Power Rangers movie from next year dropped a teaser trailer at New York Comic Con this
And
yesterday as of
holy
this.
shit, is it vague?
Yeah, so it starts with like Jason looking at a busted up truck, and then like guess it's like some kind of weird reminder of something that
I
happened,
think it's something like he got into a car accident or something, and his dad's yelling at him or something.
and his dad's being a jerk by like keeping the car
Because
there
he went on like a joyride and flipped the truck, and he's mad at him.
or something. Yeah, something happened, and then we see him like taking Jason to school for detention on like I guess a Saturday or something, and
Yeah,
this is where we see the rest of our cast. You see Trini, Billy, Zach is like sitting on a building by himself somewhere,
yeah,
middle of nowhere. I don't know where he is exactly. And then we also meet presumably one of the bully characters that like messes with Billy because you see Billy like doing something with pencils on his desk, like.
yeah. And then the guy comes up and breaks one, and I'm just like,
And then Jason just kind of like,
asshole.
yeah. And then Jason like shoves him a little bit or
Yeah.
whatever. It's, it's
And then instead of Kimberly being the cheerleader, it's Trini. Because one of the presumed cheerleaders are like, so this is where you never come to practice,
well,
and then
no,
you
those
see
were
her.
neither of those were Trini. It was just like two bully girls, I think.
No, I'm saying talking to Trini.
No, they were talking to Kimberly.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah, and
don't.
then like
I don't know these characters by name. I just know the black one is Billy, and the one that looks of Asian descent is Zach, and the Red Ranger. I can't tell the girls apart offhand.
well, Trini's Hispanic because the
From
actress
what
is
I
Hispanic.
saw though from someone posting, there's a scene where I think it's supposed to be Trini's character wearing a shirt that says 1973 on it,
Yeah.
which is a nice nod. Because that was when the original actress that played Trini was born, was in 1973.
Oh yeah, that's a nice
It was
touch.
like a quick little nod.
Anyway, but
I
yeah, it's
hope
like
that overturned truck wasn't supposed to be a nod either, because that would be messed up.
I don't think they would go that far. But
Yeah,
anyway,
but as per usual for super vague superhero movie trailers, we get to establish our characters in like 2 seconds.
yeah, it's like you see like Kimberly getting bullied, and like she cuts her hair short for some reason. I don't know why. It's like you're more.
So it'll fit in the helmet.
It's like you're more attractive than they are. I don't know what you're wigging out about, but
I think it was supposed to be something like you had to have your hair, or I'm going to guess it's something for like the cheerleading squad where you need to have your hair a certain length or some type of bullshit.
I don't know. Well, I'm sure the
Who
movie will
knows?
explain it. Anyway, but yeah, basically our group of heroes are a bunch of delinquents that have to come into school on Saturdays for detention or
Like heroes,
whatever.
like teenagers with attitude.
Yeah, unlike our morally good Gary Stews that we had for MMPR, because let's be honest,
Yeah.
that's what they were. It's like there wasn't a bad bone in their entire bodies. It was so bullshit.
Well, except for Tommy, but that was because it was from a sword.
Yeah. So anyway, like we see them in detention, and then later on they're like in a quarry somewhere or whatever, and they come up against this weird rock wall that has some glowing discs in them.
That they decide to blow up.
Yeah, apparently, I'm guessing this is like because it's a quarry, so it's like it's its dig site. So probably maybe they had something set up already, and then like Billy just hit the button and blew everything up.
I don't think so because there were sirens.
Well, you hear an explosion go off at night when there's nobody working, and so there's security details. There's gonna be sirens.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, they grab their power coins from this
Yeah,
thing,
they
and then
grab their power donuts and get the hell out of Dodge.
yeah, and like I love how Trini has the line of like, "Oh hey, look, did anyone think that there might be security or mention that there might be security? Oh right, I did, because like earlier she also mentions, hey, this is a restricted area." So that was kind of
Mm-hmm.
funny. But yeah, so they escape, and then we start finding out that apparently these coins give them powers because we see Jason super buff and break a sink, and then
As you do when you find out you have a new superpower, since we've seen with X-Men Origins Wolverine, where he fucks up a sink.
yeah, and then also Billy gets headbutted by a bully, but then the bully just falls over.
Yeah. Everyone's guessing that that's supposed to be like one of the Bulk and Skull guys.
Probably, who knows?
It
Anyway,
would be nice if it was a like maybe like a quick little thing where there's like one little picture on like the wall of like yearbook or like graduating class of so and so, and it'd be that guy and like something something blah 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 blah, one of their nicknames.
yeah, and so we also see like three of them talking in the school cafeteria, and then suddenly things start exploding around them when they put their coins together, which was interesting.
Yeah.
And then you see them outside at a chasm playing with their powers, and it's like now you guys can super jump, and also apparently stay underwater for long periods of time because it looked like they had a shot where it's like looking down into the water, and then the Rangers are like looking up, and even one of them like puts their hand out of the water.
I don't think that's what that is. You know how in some sci-fi movies and stuff, there'll be like a lake, and when you swim down, the bottom is actually the top of another lake.
Kinda.
I think that's what it is. There's the top of the lake, and then when they swim down to the bottom of the lake, it's actually the top of another lake that is actually the command center.
Hmm. All I know is like
Like
you
the
just
command center has its own gravity thing that keeps the water from not coming in, kind of thing, if that makes sense.
yeah, it
Like
kind of
that's
does.
supposed to be like the command center, because that them sticking their hand in didn't seem like a getting out of the water. That seemed like a going into something weird hand thing.
Maybe all I know is like it's just the way that it was angled because like it's angled so like the hand's going down, so it's like out of the water kind of thing. And then
Yeah.
when they immediately cut to like here's the Rangers looking like they're standing on the bottom of the lake, it's like okay,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that's interesting. But yeah, so basically we see them playing with their powers a lot, bunch, and then there's like a whole bunch of other like random flash cut scenes,
Yeah,
and then
we get to see a couple things that I know will we get to see a thing that I know pisses you off.
uh, well, it'll be interesting.
I think it does because we mentioned it the other day
I'm trying to remember what.
of one of the big things that we don't want them to see that we didn't
Oh
want
well,
them
yeah,
to see.
we'll get to that in a second. But and then like there's one scene where we see Rita hovering over Trini's bed, and she's like says like I've killed Rangers before throwing her out of the bed against the wall,
Yeah.
which I think we've seen a picture of that prior.
Yep.
So it's
Yep.
like okay, that's cool to see. But
And I
yeah,
have a theory about that.
but yeah, the scene you're referring to is like at the very end of the trailer. You see like all four of them in this room, and then like suddenly they're like get hit with power bursts, and like their armor starts to form, but then they cut away before they do it fully.
Yeah.
Which okay, admittedly, should that have been there? Probably not. But the fact that they did a quick cut away from it, so it's not like you see the full thing, that I'm okay with. Plus, I have a feeling this is a case of this is the first time thing. So it's like kind of like what you see in MMPR original, where it's like when Zordon's explaining the stuff, you see the suit overlay on top of them, and then like you don't really see the actual morph until later on in the episode. I have a
Yeah,
feeling
maybe.
this might be what that is, where it's like this is the first time, so it's like this is not how it usually works. So I'm sure they'll have like some kind of cooler, flashier morph later on,
Yeah.
but you know, it doesn't really bother me that much because, like I said, it's not the full suit.
Right.
They do cut away like when the helmet's only like half formed on Jason, so you
Yeah.
know,
And then the thing that I have a theory of is, remember one of the first images we got of Rita was her in like behind a wall of like cracked glass?
yeah.
What if she was also in that wall that they blew up?
Yeah, I think
and that's what set her free.
yeah, I could definitely see that. It's like
Because, they had to get the power donuts.
yeah, it's like the coins are like holding her in there, and then they blew it up, and that also let her out. So basically, it's a case of
Which still is going to make me wonder what the hell is Zordon and Alpha 5 going to look like if they just kind of happened upon the coins.
I don't know. That is going to be very curious to say the least. But
Where it's not like, Alpha, give me 5 teenagers with moderate kung fu abilities.
yeah, no, these characters do not seem like they have any kung fu prowess whatsoever. Although I do like how there is one scene where you see Trini and Kimberly back to back in fighting stance. What
Yeah.
they're fighting against, you don't see, but you see them together. So
From
it's
what
like,
I saw on Facebook earlier today, a certain guy with a very gravelly, I can't do the voice.
where's Biff when we need him?
The person that he can do very well is supposedly,
Oh yeah, Goldar.
yeah.
Should be interesting to see how that design comes off. But yeah, so
I mean, it could most likely would look the same. It's just the face would look more like an animal or something, probably.
probably or
Like, make the suit look less like painted plastic and more like
metal.
metal.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll get the modernization treatment. But yeah, overall, I thought the trailer was alright. I mean, for me, one thing I thought was interesting with this was it gave me a very Dino Thunder vibe for it because it's like
Yeah,
teenagers in
yeah,
detention, check, and teenagers in detention go to areas that they shouldn't, check. Get thing that gives them civilian powers, check.
yeah.
Literally, the only thing you're missing is like a former ranger giving them tutorials on how to work their equipment. Which who knows? Maybe we'll get that to with Zordon. Maybe he was a ranger once. Who knows? We still,
I mean, maybe.
but yeah. So I will say, like prior to this trailer coming out, will admit my hype level for this movie has been pretty much on the low side because it's like no expectation, no disappointment, right?
Yep.
This does have me a little bit more excited for it, so
It has me excited, but it also has me equally worried.
cautiously optimistic.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the best way to put it. Just cautiously optimistic. So, but yeah, and apparently this movie is coming out in March, which means we have a whopping, let's see, rest of this month, November, December, January, February, about 6 months for this until this thing hits.
Damn.
So this thing's coming up fast.
Not only is it coming up fast, it's gonna really get me mad. Because Iron Fist comes out in March too. The Netflix series,
Yeah, well that's on
which I
net.
believe is one of the last one until they do Defenders.
Uh,
But that's for another show.
I was just sticking with that for a second. Though, it's like I was looking on Wikipedia yesterday, or yeah, it was yesterday of like 2017 in film. There's a lot of comic book movies coming out next year. Like we've got Logan, we've got three Marvel MCU films, which I don't realize saying Marvel MCU just kind of repetitive, but
What
whatever.
three?
Guardians 2, Spider-Man Homecoming, and Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And
Okay.
then DC's got both Justice League and Wonder Woman that year. And then just because Lego Batman's coming out as well.
Yeah. I
So
saw one of the sets for that. The Lego set for it, of course. Of Arkham Asylum.
it's just like
Gonna come with a lot of fucking figures.
yeah, I'm just like
And from what I saw, it looks like Batgirl's gonna be a block of color, if that makes any sense.
well, it's the Lego universe. Everything's a block of color, kind of.
I mean, like a block of color considered like in our terms.
Anyway. But yeah, so that's the
But
power.
that's even if she's actually in the movie.
Well, we'll find out. Anyway, but yeah, comic book fans are gonna have empty wallets next year.
I already have one.
Anyway, but yeah, so Power Rangers
Oh,
trailer.
another thing.
Hmm.
Because this technically pertains to both of our shows, but not really. Boom Studios is going to be partnering with DC Comics to make a Power Rangers versus Justice League.
To which I say, how are they gonna beat Superman?
Dragon Zord. Do, 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 do. Damn it.
Megazord!
He
Damn it.
just threw him back in the water.
Summon the Megazord! And crushed.
Quick, someone grab the AA batteries. We need Surf and Terra.
And crush.
They're probably gonna end up fighting each other. Superman's gonna be like, I could vaporize all of you with a blink of my eye. What are you doing? They're gonna say something like, "Oh, we're here to help you."
They could.
Or what I think might happen is the Star was gonna come and mess with the JL, and the Power Rangers are gonna come to fight because it's a giant starfish monster, and that's kind of their norm.
I don't know. I honestly have no idea what to expect from that.
I
It's
don't know. I'm not really an avid comic book reader, but I'm looking forward to it.
yeah, I'll find a way to read that somehow. It's just like that just seems ridiculous. Like then again, considering Sentai's definition of verses being, not really, so who
And
knows?
who knows? Maybe they'll make a reference to. Well, no, they wouldn't because it's not in space. Never mind.
Nope, wrong Rangers.
That's what I was gonna say because I know Batman teamed up with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, but no, these
There's
Rangers.
also a whole theory where the accident that caused Daredevil to become blind also caused the Ninja Turtles to become mutants.
That's an interesting theory.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Power Rangers trailer aside and derailing aside, shall we actually move on to the last of our discussions?
Player select.
Which we've been going for about an hour 48, so we are getting close to.
Granted, we've been talking about what 12 episodes and a trailer.
Yeah. Well, this is the end of our discussion stuff. So, Xade. And I love how this episode starts us with backstory on our hero.
He was in a car crash, presumably, and he almost died, but a doctor saved him and then gave him a Nintendo brand gaming system of some sort.
Did it really have Nintendo on it? I didn't see any brand on it.
The other show that we have suits for mentioned that it was some sort of handheld thing from like Nintendo or something,
I didn't think it was
or
from.
it was an old handheld.
It looked like an old handheld, sure, but I don't think it had any branding on it. It didn't look like
They
anything I'd
again
ever
they
seen.
mentioned it in the other show. I don't remember what it was called. It was like a soft core or something like that.
Okay, maybe it was a
That's
Wonder Swan.
that's a game type for a different game, but okay.
Maybe
But
it
yeah,
was a
so
Wonder Swan.
after we get a quick little like 30-second scene of you have to smile to make me be a good doctor, we see what looks like our main character doing chest compressions.
And no, he's just playing a
And
game.
it's just him getting really into a video game, which I totally understand.
Yep, totally.
I've fallen out of my chair many a times getting really into fighting games.
I don't think I've ever gotten that far, but yeah, I've gotten pretty into games before, so I can totally see where he's coming from.
Yeah.
And then we get flash
I like
scene.
my favorite part is when it zooms out, you see four kids and then two parents, and the parents look more worried than the kids do about him playing that game.
Because
And I'm just like,
oh,
this guy's a doctor.
this guy's a doctor playing a video game.
And then it's dragged away, very Drive style of getting just dragged by
Dragged by the ear, just like ow.
poor guy.
I love how he falls over and drops his game gizmo and never doesn't
Yeah,
realize
and it
it.
lands perfect where it's sticking straight up, and we get this really cool transition of day to night, and then the bug star virus goes out.
Yep, and people turning into blobs, and then we get silhouette shots of our heroes, our riders.
Yeah, we get a very not really silhouetted, but silhouetted shot of all of our main our main four air quote riders.
Yep, because one of them's actually a bike.
Yeah, it's like Kamen Rider Snipe, Kamen Rider Brave, Kamen Rider Motorcycle, and then X8 on the motorcycle.
Yep.
It's like, okay, super awesome gun guy, super awesome sword guy, a bike.
Yeah, and then we see our doctor friend here at work, like talking to one of his patients who apparently just has a snacking habit.
Yeah.
And then we meet our villains.
I think the worst part, though, he was just like, he's looking, and the kid looks, air quotes, a little overweight, using very, very, very default terms for that. And the kid, and he just goes, I think he snacks a lot.
It's like excessive snacking, and then the kids immediately like, I don't, and then like mom's like, well, that explains where all the snacks have been going.
Yeah, and then taps him on the head, and his tongue sticks out, and I was like, that's kind of weird, but okay.
Yep. And then it cuts to our villains doing villainy things. We have the monster villain named Graphite.
I was really mad his name wasn't Graphic.
That might be the pun. Who knows?
But yeah, Graphite and Plaid
I don't know who the other guy's name
or
is.
Palada or something like that.
Yeah, they don't mention him
I
by
was
name.
thinking he was gonna be Genmu, but I don't think so anymore.
I don't know. All I know is like,
There's the whole thing about them having the bug visor, but then I overheard that there's some of the actual monsters wear the bug visors as belts. So who
interesting.
knows?
But yeah, I love how our monster villain Graphite is all like, "We're gonna have more comrades soon," and then this human clown, whatever his name is just like, "Hey, isn't it great that this world is gonna be ours to play with soon?" So it's like one of you just wants to toy with the world, the other one wants to just fill it full of monsters.
Yeah,
So far, that's our villain's
mo.
mo slash evil plan. So
Yeah, motives.
yeah, we'll see how that turns out. And then we cut to the Ministry of Health, which apparently makes drivers based on video games. More proof that Japan is just weird.
Yeah, and it's like, my son's coming, and he's an awesome doctor. Give him this belt to have him go and do shit. And
Well,
it's like, but there's this really cool guy. He's a really awesome, genius video game guy. His name's M.
yeah.
Or Emu, which is why Genmu is called Genmu and not Genem.
Well, yeah, I just love how like they're having this serious conversation about
And
trying to
he's like, do you
prevent.
think my son is unfit to wear this belt? And she's just like, yeah, I do. I'm gonna
Wait,
go
the
find the
ministry.
super.
Okay, hold on. Like the subs I watched, like did they mention son? Like I don't remember hearing that.
It's one of the people's son. I don't remember whose, but Brave is the son of somebody. I think he's our not chief guy.
Because literally, like I remember when they're talking in the Ministry of Health scene, and
Not
it's
him,
just
the other guy. That's what I'm thinking of. That's supposed to be his son.
oh, okay, the
Our,
director.
our very drive chief acting guy.
Oh, the director and the CR.
Why has it been our last three, air quote, elderly gentlemen, Mr. Helping guy have to be crazy and stupid?
I don't know because it
I like how
seems to work.
he has a super serious face and it's just like, I like the. Oh, he's another stupid mentor. Okay. Damn.
Well, the thing with the guy with Drive was like he had his weird quirks, but
Yeah,
he
he
definitely
had
had
his
his.
quirks. Sage had his quirks. This guy's quirks is he's funny, and I kind of like it because he kind of makes me laugh. But I feel
Yeah.
like it's going to get old fast.
Well, we'll see how it plays out in the long run, but yeah. Yes, they're hunting for the Genius Gamer M. Meanwhile, also having another candidate coming in from overseas, which is apparently Brave.
Yeah. And then there's a kid.
Yeah, so we have a kid. One of
He's a kid. He doesn't want to put on his gown. He runs away after he makes a joke that
about
M is just a quack, more or less.
he's a half-baked doctor.
Yeah.
Look, he even has a nosebleed.
He's
And
a
it's just like,
half-boiled doctor.
uh,
Double jokes. And then
yep.
runs away, and then M chases him.
Yeah, M Chase.
Comedy ensues. He sees the Mighty Action X gadget, cause
Yeah, it's like basically.
Asuna, is that her name?
Yeah, no, it's like let's put this in like full thing in perspective here. It's like, yeah, the kid Sota runs away from the hospital because he doesn't want to stay there because he wants to go play the new Mighty Action X game that comes out. Our hero chases after him, ends up on a hill, and runs into a
on a like a move, not a moving cart.
it's like a doll or draw.
A box cart, basically.
Yeah, basically, it's like yeah, because like there's some guy doing deliveries or whatever, pushing this thing up a hill. He ends up flipping onto the thing, riding it down the hill, He runs into Asuna. Asuna manages to Matrix dodge out of the way, kind of.
He flips over the thing and he crashes. His shoe flies off, hits her in the head, which causes her to drop the briefcase. The briefcase opens and only Mighty Action X flies out. Or in
Well,
the
no,
belt and Mighty Action X flies out.
yeah, because that's the only thing in the box.
Yeah.
And
And
then
the
the
kid
kid,
comes down and goes, "It's Mighty Action X that comes out today. Can I play it, please, 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 please?"
and
And
I'm
she's
just like,
like,
that's a
"No."
weird card. I have to think, like, if there's actually any game device that runs those cartridges, that's got to be a weirdly shaped gizmo.
I mean,
And I'm
the
not just,
NES took cartridges.
yeah, I know. I
So
mean,
the way I'm thinking it is as like the word, like the Mighty Action X logo is in the front. You would like stick it in like that.
hmm. But yeah, so that happens, and then the kid
He
suffers
freaks
from,
out. You see the little bug viruses things pop up.
yep, then they rush him down to the CR, and of course our hero
Using the
falls.
greatest thing ever: up, down, both left and right buttons.
I didn't even catch that. That's a nice touch. But yeah, they rush him down there, and then of course M finds out about the whole thing, and then eventually he also figures out that Sota likes games and decides, hey, I'm gonna take you out
Yeah,
to go
specifically
play.
he likes the Mighty series.
Yeah, so
And
it's
he
like,
makes a whole thing where it's like, Mighty's inside you fighting the final boss.
which
And then proceeds to kidnap the child to take him to the Mighty Action X uh, release party.
which I have to say that thing took 5 years to develop. What exactly is in this game that took it 5 years to develop? Considering what we
Well,
see of the gameplay.
let's think of it like, well, at least 50 levels, each with their own boss.
Hmm.
There's a
Uh,
reason I say that, and it's because I'm a totally pulling this joke out of my ass. Because the monster of the week this week was the boss from was the level 1 boss from Mighty Action X.
yeah, which was actually kind of a cool touch, I have
So
to say.
presumably every one of the major villains each week is the final boss of every single game.
Or at least related to it, yeah.
Yeah, so like next week it will probably be related to Tattle Quest, and then after that it'll be Bang Bang Shooting and probably Laser Bike Race Fuckface.
Which, anyway, I love how, Asuna catches them there and like she's berating Emu, and then suddenly Sota turns into an orange blobby thing.
He turns into the Yellow Devil from Mega Man.
Pretty much, yeah. It's just
Or Clayface from Batman.
or that, yeah.
And I'm
And,
just like, okay, you guys couldn't find another monster sound dialogue besides
yeah, I know they've reused that so many times.
literally like at least 10 times in this episode. I'm just like, this is starting to get annoying. Kill this, please.
Not only that, I'm pretty sure they've used it in past
I
Sentai or
have
Rider shows.
toys that make that. I used to have toys that made that noise.
Yeah, it's a stock sound.
Yeah, very stock. It's like Dragon Roar.
Pretty much, yeah. But yeah, so it's during this chaos where we find out exactly what this thing is. It's a new virus that's infecting humans by bonding with cells. It's called the Bugster virus, and the only way to defeat it is to operate on it using a gamer driver in a game. Which, our hero immediately grabs the belt, snaps it on, and then she's all
Yeah,
like,
and then the entire time she's looking for the genius gamer M, and as he's getting ready to hench, it's like, you're gonna see what happens when you face the genius gamer M. And it's like, wow, that's
yeah.
really. The entire time she's looking for you, and you just never went like, hi, my name's so and so. I also
Well,
go by Genius Gamer M.
well, she never caught him playing games, so that wouldn't have made any sense for him to suddenly just blurt that out.
Right.
But anyway, yeah, so
You
like,
would think they would have some small talk in the elevator before it instantly went to the next floor.
maybe. I don't know. But yeah, so snaps the belt on, activates the gashet, and apparently using these things, or these special gashets, turns the world around you into a game, including generating breakable objects.
Yeah, relative to your game.
Yeah, so in this case for Mighty Action X, because it's a platformer, it's breakable blocks.
Yep, and then Title Quest, it's chests. Bang Bang Shooting, it's barrels.
Because of course.
And I don't know if there is one for the bike dude.
We'll find
But
out.
presumably it's going to be like item boxes.
Well, we'll find out. That's all I can say. Yeah. Oh yeah, so we get our first transformation into level 1, which looks absolutely silly, but I love it
And I
nonetheless.
like how as soon as he henshins you just hear, wow, wow, wow.
Yeah, that's something else to take into consideration with this episode. The music and the sound effects. There's so many like little nods to gaming here and there between like different sound effects or music cues. It's
I will
hilarious and I
say,
love
when I
it.
watched the raw of this, it bugged the hell out of me. But after I started watching it subbed, it wasn't as annoying.
Yeah. And I also still love the henshins, like, you know,
Mookie game, Metcha game. What's your name? I'm Kamen Rider.
I love it. It just declares, I'm a Kamen Rider.
And
And it's
he's
like,
like, you gotta turn into a Kamen Rider and operate on him. And he's like, Kamen Rider?
yep. And so we see
What's
him.
that?
But yeah,
What,
so
there's 46 others?
okay, let's not get into that. He didn't even really say that.
I know, it was
They
just.
didn't mention the name Kamen Rider until the end of the episode.
Yeah, you're right.
Anyway, so yeah, transforms, and we see this goofy fight scene with him in level 1, which is
Yeah,
actually
he
kind of
he
cool.
summons his weapon because knockoff Yellow Devil's just right up there, and he's like, "I'm gonna fight you. I'm gonna fight. Turn around and run."
Turns around.
When we first saw the in-suit scene of level 1, it was that just without all the CGI.
Yep, so runs away, runs to where some blocks are, breaks them, gets a
And
power up
the reason
coin.
he's running away is because in Mighty Action X, he gets stronger by collecting power-ups such as speed.
Although it's funny, I watched the Excite sub first, and then I wanted to like see how the TBN
Mm-hmm.
translations looked. In that scene, he says Mighty gets stronger by eating candy. I think
I
I like
mean,
I think I like Excite.
they do look like they could be Necco wafers
Yeah, or
or
sweet
crappy Kamen
tarts,
Rider gummies.
or sweet tarts or something.
Now there's a brand deal.
But yeah, so the fight scene's actually pretty cool because like we see him beat the thing with a hammer, then it explodes and
Yeah,
releases Sota, but because the final boss isn't beaten, they still can't reach him. He's
yeah,
like
and
all
then they
phased out.
mention, oh, that's Salty. He's the boss of Mighty Action X
Yep, and it's in this
because they
point,
somehow know that.
and it's at this point where he transforms into level 2 and goes.
Yeah, that's when it happened. He's like, oh, you can't defeat me at level 1, and then she's like, you can't defeat him, and then he goes, you underestimate genius, gamer M, and she's like, M, and then he flips the thing over, and you get mighty jump and all that.
Mighty jump, mighty kick,
Mighty action
X.
X.
I love all the henshin noises for this belt so far.
I also love the fact that I called what Bang Bang Shootings was going to be, just not in the way that they have it. I was like, it's probably going to be like bang, ba bang, ba bang, ba bang, shooting. And it's pretty damn close.
I just love like all the little graphics that keep coming up whenever they're doing like
Yeah, or
transformations.
like when he first activates the gadget, you get the the starting pay screen with
Yeah.
games start in front of them. Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah, and then like the world around him actually like pixelates for a few seconds and then goes back to normal with all the blocks generated. And then when he like actually transforms, like you see a character select come up and it goes
Yeah,
to
and you
act
see
fade.
Snipe, Xaid, Brave.
And I don't know who
Yeah, I
else I
think
wasn't
that was
thinking.
it. And then there were like unlockable characters.
Yeah, like
There's other riders,
yeah, just all the little touches in this
supposedly.
show with what they've
Yeah.
been doing. Just all the little touches, I love it. It's so good. Anyway, so yeah, he transforms to level 2, goes crazy on the mooks, which basically just look like people with orange turkeys on their head.
Yeah, and we figure out what the buttons on the hammer do.
Yeah, which was
The
cool.
A button is more or less hits. Like you charge up power for your hits, so after you press it so many times, every time you pull the trigger, it'll make that like an attack noise for that many times.
Yeah, which also gotta love how we have onomatopoeias every time he hits something.
Yes, and then the B button activates your secondary weapon mode,
Yep. Which,
which for him turns his hammer into a sword.
yep.
And from what I hear from the next episode, the actual health bars on their chest actually go down.
Interesting.
It's not just there for deco.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering what those were about, so that should be interesting to see.
Yeah,
Anyway, but yeah, so once he clears out all the mooks, goes into a fight with the final boss, and, blows him up with probably the greatest thing they could have done, where he pulls the gasket out of the driver, blows into it, snaps it into his side slot, and then hits him with the rider kick.
you know why that's there?
Hmm.
Because the suit actor did that in the movie.
Oh yeah.
That's why. And they liked it so much that they kept it, which I gotta say, I love it.
Yeah.
I want more of it.
Yes, please keep that consistent. Like,
But I only want XA to blow into it. I want all the others just to be like an asshole and just be like,
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
Final tech kick.
I'm going to bet that for Snipe, it's just going to be he's going to load the gasket into the bottom of his gun, like a clip.
Yeah, because like all the weapons do have a gadget slot.
So, that's probably going to be Snipe's final attack. He's just going to shove the gasket into the clip slot on his gun or something.
Yeah.
Which would make sense, since it's a gun. Anyway, but yeah, so beats the monster, and then we start seeing some little clips of our other cast members, because you see Snipe off in the distance, and he does the little finger pistol, and
But
then
you know what he was looking at them from?
a sniper
Yeah,
scope.
a sniper scope, which I was like, wow.
I
Is
know,
it bad
right?
enough he's wearing a fucking like towel around his shoulder to give him a shoulder cape, but you're having him look through a gun scope?
I know, right?
And
Uh,
then Brave sitting in his car like, genius gamer my ass.
yes, and he's already got the gamer driver, and then you also see presumably Racer, like
Yeah,
back in
the
the,
guy
the
in the red jacket, which he's the morgue worker or coroner. So that means people died at that event.
I would not be surprised.
That's what that means, because he was there. He's the coroner. From what
Yeah.
we hear, he's the coroner. People were dead.
Well, Kamen Rider and Sentai do have body counts, even if they don't always show it.
Yeah.
So, wouldn't be surprised if a few people
And
died during
then
that
the
rampage.
biggest surprise.
Yeah, freaking Austin as an AI from a dancing game or something named
It's,
Poppy.
you know what it is? It's Braves level 3.
Huh.
It's that game.
Interesting. And I love how she jumps in the thing and it's like, yeah, Austin is just my daytime disguise.
Yeah,
It's just like a
yeah.
complete role reversal for what she used to be.
Yep. And
And
then
then
it's like,
just
oh, by the way, you gotta beat these 10 games.
beat these 10 games to become the savior of mankind. Kamen Rider X8! I'm like, I'm getting some very DJ Sagara vibes right now coming off of you.
Yeah.
This is going to be a very interesting series. But
Yep.
I like it. I'm all in right now.
I
So,
like the henshin sequence.
yeah.
Because I saw most of Braves.
Oh, yeah, clips of that are probably floating around already.
Yeah, it's
Since,
pretty legit. Because, like, you know how the Gashet has, like, the little hand holder? Like, the
yeah.
little hook around? He uses that to flip it around downward for him to put it in the belt.
Nice.
Instead
Oh,
of, like, how X8 actually flips it around and puts it in his other hand. He just holds it, clicks it, flicks it around, and, like, lets it drop and then slides it in.
that sounds like something I would do. Try to do it really cool, badass style.
I mean, I'd do it exactly how it's going to be presumed Kamen Rider Snipe's going to do it, where he's going to point it and then click it like a gun and jam it in.
Yeah, I could see that.
So
But yeah,
next week, Kamen Rider Brave.
and yeah, just overall so far, loving X-Aid. It looks really cool. The show looks cool. The aesthetics are awesome. They're definitely playing up the video game motif. And oh yeah, we haven't mentioned this, but the theme song's pretty good too. Although we didn't get to proper opening sequence this episode, but we did get to hear the song, so and I like it.
Yeah. Um, Again, you're talking to the guy that didn't realize that the ghost opening was in episode 1. So until I actually see it proper, I'm not going to really pay attention to it.
Yeah, well, we'll get it next episode.
To the point where I normally don't pay attention to music in shows.
It's just kind of interesting how they put it at the end of this episode, where they didn't in like Kamen Rider Wizard, they had it at the beginning of the episode, but it's like over fight footage.
Mm-hmm.
In this, it's just like it's playing at the end during the cool off,
Yeah.
which is kind of interesting.
Like, for me, the only time I pay attention to music is the openings and endings. And the only reason I do is because of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. That's the only reason.
Your obsession with that show knows no bounds, I swear.
The ending credit sequences look amazing.
I'm sure they do. Anyway, so yeah, that was X-Aid. Definitely excited for more, and that's the show because
It's
that's.
time for the see you next game
Yep.
instead
So
of just like see you next week. Bye.
yeah, I do like that. It's like see you next game. So yeah.
Which makes me wonder if like the last one's gonna be like game over. Like the last episode will have like game over or thank you for playing or something like that.
Actually, now that you mentioned that, did the belt have a shutdown sound?
Gashoot.
That's not very interesting.
It's gashat when you put it in and gashoot when you pull it out. Which the Excite subs had it like click and load and click and save
Hmm.
or something like that for their subs for that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But anyway, well, that's our show because we've talked about everything and now we're finally caught up, so hooray for that.
Yeah.
Because we had a couple of weeks of misfiring there. Oh well, anyway. So yeah, thank you all for listening or slash watching if you're on YouTube to this 2 hour plus episode. We're actually
Yeah.
running. We've actually run longer than our last one, so we keep beating our own records. Yay! Oy vey.
Yay, sadness. Once we get back on our schedule, we'll be good.
Yups. Which will be next week, so hooray.
Yep.
Anyway, so yeah, thank you for listening slash watching, and we will see you guys next time in the next game for whatever. Goodbye.